So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. So many of the stories that we cover here is not because of the story itself or the characters behind the story. It's mostly about the message that the story comes with, the moral of the story, the lessons that can be learned from the story. And that's why I love to encourage you, all my darling audience, that regardless of the thumbnail or the people that you see on the title, still click and watch till the end, because there is always something that you will take home or learn from it. All this while, the story of Israel and Sheila has been going on social media. I didn't want to talk about it because I really didn't have so much interest in them. And then I realized the enormous message that this story, this true life story carries. And you know that when something is educative, when it has something that can be learned from it, you know that Neza will talk about it. So today, we are going to talk about Israel and Sheila. If you're new here, you're seeing my beautiful face for the first time. If I do say so myself. Or if you've been watching, sneaking around, coming in here and sneaking out without subscribing, please hit the subscribe button right now. Give this video a big thumbs up. Drop your comments. We want to hear from you down below, and stay glued because there is so much more coming your way. Without further ado, let us jump right in. "24-year-old Sheila Courage is a content creator, an event host, and a brand ambassador, a brand influencer. She hails from Edo State in Nigeria. Sheila is a pastor's daughter, and you know what I say about pastors' children. There is this widespread belief that they always act opposite of what their parents stand for, especially when they leave the confines and the restrictions of home and go to university and taste freedom for the first time. Oh my God. It is widely believed that they begin to act everything opposite of what their pastor, father or mother preaches. But Sheila was not that kind of pastor's daughter. She tried to lead a decent life such that she kept her purity throughout university and graduated as a virgin. I'm sure some people may say, oh, Nesse, that does not mean anything, no. Because she is a virgin does not mean she is a saint. Some of these people, they have not done the intercourse, but the outer course, oh my God, they have done and undone. You may be right, you may not. But I insist that it sure counts for something. In this present world where kids start experimenting with sex at the age of 15, some of them even sooner, she went through the 4 walls of university, experienced campus life for 4 years. And it's not like she's one Sister Benedicta, Sister Equitos, that, you know, is all conservative church, scripture union vice president. No. She was a happening babe, wearing makeup, dressing well, going for beauty pageants. She's a 2-time beauty queen, living in Edo State. She must have caught the attention of plenty of men. It sure takes a decent lady and disciplined, most especially, to choose the path that she did and choose to preserve her virtue for her husband. So Sheila graduated at 21, and after graduation, she began growing her social media presence, taking on hosting jobs while still trying to be a devout Christian. So on this fateful day, while on street evangelism, Sheila met a young man. Okay, let us not say young. Let us just say she met this guy, a man called Israel. Israel DMW is the logistics manager and the crew member of popular Nigerian music artist Davido. He has worked closely with Davido as his aide for about 7 years and gained popularity for his hype man style of Davido and his wife Chioma, whom he would often refer to as Oga and Madam. He is also known for his unalloyed loyalty and his open support and defense of Davido online. So Sheila and Israel met when she was 20 plus, heading on 21, and Israel on the other hand was in his 40s. They met in February of 2022. You can imagine Israel's excitement when he met Sheila. This beautiful girl, calm, decent, a graduate from his place in Edo State. On top of it, she's godly. I mean, look at her, devoting her time to street evangelism. He went gaga. He picked immediate interest in her. Israel and Sheila had a very short courtship. Remember I told you that they met in February. By June, just 4 months after they met, they had already had an introduction, or should we call it a traditional wedding. And the same year in October, they had their very lavish white wedding ceremony, which had the Oga himself, Davido, and his wife, Chioma, in attendance.
My husband.
My wife.
Husband.
My wife.
We wished them well and wished them all the best, but to our utmost surprise, only a few months into the marriage, less than 1 year, Israel came out on social media to announce the crash of his marriage to Sheila. He said that Sheila has left him, packed her things out of his home, and dumped the marriage, dumped the whole thing. Let us listen to what he had to say. He said, marrying a lady because you met her during evangelism as a virgin, a pastor's daughter, a member of your same Winners Chapel church, might not guarantee anything peace at all. So he's the one that even confirmed and came out to social media to brag after their wedding night. The next thing we saw was Israel posting, hey, confirm, I marry virgin, my wife na V-boot. So he's confirming that. He went further to say, don't be too eager or quick to trust people. People can change at any time. People can be very ungrateful and deceptive. So he's accusing Sheila of ingratitude and deception. How? Let us find out. I met Sheila in February 19, 2022. We became friends, which later became intimate. She told me she would only lose her virginity to the man that would marry her, since her Ugep Cross River mother, who is now 41, who had earlier married 2 different men with 2 children before marrying her father, and that she was overdue at 21 for marriage. So he's opening his his witness account. He's channeling his opening statement by discrediting the estranged wife's mother, trying to label her the typical way. The fastest way to discredit a woman in Nigeria and maybe Africa, attack her morality. So he's telling us that the girl's mother is, she's a single mother, she sleeps around different men with different children. So that's how he starts. And he made sure it was not by chance. He made sure he highlighted Calabar, that the woman is from Cross River States. All right. So he said, we fully agreed with her terms and conditions. I immediately began a full upgrade of her unkept situation by first giving her 300,000 and also replacing her tattered phone of less than 60,000 to a brand new iPhone 12 Pro Max of 860K in less than 2 weeks. Okay, so he is listing all the financial favors that he granted her when they met. I later also replaced the 12 Pro Max to a brand new 14 Pro Max of 1.2 million that she's currently using to slay. I did a lot of shopping for her, bought her clothes and bags, including expensive human hairs that she's using without sleeping with her then. Okay. I later proposed and she fully accepted. We later did a legally introduction, traditional and white wedding in Benin City. Sheila immediately changed by showing her real self. Before I proceed, Israel aside or Sheila aside, you know I like to drop my nuggets as I'm covering the story. Any man that feels that money is all he has to offer to be a good husband or a good spouse, no matter how wealthy that man is poor. Any man that feels like he has done enough for you because he bought you material things, regardless of how he treats you, that person is, I don't know whether to call that person impenetrable. Because no matter how you explain and express the hurt that he's causing you, he would feel that as long as I'm buying you iPhone, girl, shut up. As long as I'm buying you human hair, take it. I'm doing everything for you. So such kind of people, you gotta be careful. So back to his narration of what caused the divorce of such a lavish wedding just after 10 months. He said that Sheila immediately changed by showing her real self after our wedding, by wanting to set standards for me, because she now felt she was blown as Juju's wife. So he's Juju. Fully verified on Instagram with more followers from her earlier struggling 3,000 followers when I met her. A full Sakpa girl. Sakpa, for those that are not Nigerians, means a poverty-stricken person. So, a full poverty-stricken girl I met with just 2,700 in her account. I have never raised my hands on her any day. I don't beat women at all. I respect them so much. Okay, let me chip it in here again because we're here to learn. My dear kings, my dear odogus, please, I want to beg you that do not ever think that beating a woman is the worst thing that you can do to her, or the worst punishment that you can make to her, or is the biggest torture that you can give her. As a matter of fact, you know, some people even prefer to be beaten. As a child, if you have a father or a mother that can use their mouths to pierce and finish your life, many children watching me will admit that at a point growing up, they would prefer to be beaten than to have those sessions of mouth lashing and torture where you will be crying. You just prefer to be beaten and have it over with. I'm not saying that beating is good. I'm trying to make you understand that beating is bad, but it's not the only bad thing that you can do to somebody. So when you are having challenges with your spouse and you are bragging, I have never beat her, I have never put my finger on her, you also need to check other things that you may be doing that may not be physically inflicting injury, but is emotionally damaging her. And that one is worse because that one does not have cure. That one does not have remedy. That one does not have healing. When someone flogs you, that thing will heal. You can take a boniki. But when your soul is weeping, when you are sleepless at night, when you are wetting your pillow, when you are going through psychological torture, that one does not have solution. That one, no aboniki, no Panadol can heal it. So that one is more damaging. So please be careful because this is a very common line whenever a marriage breaks. You hear the man saying, I don't beat women. But the one you do is even worse than beating. So let's be guided. So Juju, as he calls himself, goes further. The least money for her upkeep was 100K. She now wakes up to tell me that I derive dignity in begging my oga, and that I am fully a slave, that I'm disgracing her on social media. I had earlier taken her to show the same oga for the first time before we wedded. When we were in Abuja Transcorp Hilton, and oga asked her straightforward if she was ready for marriage, and she fully answered by saying yes. And oga immediately gave her 500,000 for airtime. Oga was fully present in Benin for my wedding after cancelling a 150 million naira show appearance. Oga even had to cough out another 30 million naira to get a jet since his own was away in America for servicing. So by this, Juju is not really dwelling on the substance of what caused their marriage crisis. He is dwelling on the disgrace and the disappointment that her living has brought to his reputation. He went further to say, she finally moved out of my house August 8th to Abuja to meet her friend the Ginika, a well-verified prostitute for fornication. After 4 attempts with flimsy excuses, her Calabar mother, he has pointed it out again. You know, back then there used to be some aspersions that are being cast on Calabar. When you hear Calabar, as if no, the person is a sex freak. You know, he's emphasizing that the girl's mother is Calabar. If not, why can't he just say her mother? He said her Calabar mother is the most wicked and heartless woman every man should avoid as a mother-in-law. There's nothing I didn't do to please this woman. A pure fake church deaconess and very wicked. So, as he was attacking the estranged wife, he was also attacking her family, her mother, heaping insults on them and calling them names. Mind you, they are not even divorced. They are just estranged because they had a statutory marriage. For divorce to happen, it has to pass through the 4 corners of a court. So they are just estranged. Reconciliation is even very possible because yes, there might have been grievances, but personally, you know me, I like to try to see how a marriage can be saved and salvaged. I'm not the kind of person that easily says, I leave the marriage, come out, don't take that. I always be like, okay, calm down first. It never to spoil. Okay, there's no beating here. Yes, there are some childish behaviors, maybe emotional distress, but if both parties can make amends, this marriage is still savable. It never rots, it never too bad. Calm down. So I believe that the marriage was still at a place. These are 2 people who are new to the institution. And most marriages always start rocky and bumpy. As I always say, many women watching me here will tell you that during the first 1 year, 2 years of their marriage, they packed their load and say, I'm going back to my father's house. Some even left. After they left, they came back and unpacked and hung back all their clothes. So sometimes that beginning phase of marriage can be rocky for some people, not everybody. So when a newly married couple are having all these clashes of differences in ideas, or he said this, I didn't want this, he did this, I believe that's okay. If it's not so extreme, let them first try and see if they can salvage the marriage. So the marriage was still estranged, they were not divorced, and he was on social media calling out his mother-in-law and doing all of this. He said, Sheila would always enter my Oga's DM to discredit me, telling everybody that Oga does not like me at all, that Oga is tired of me. People should be careful of Sheila and her parents. They are fully gold diggers. They fully extorted me. They want to look for another highest bidder to sell their daughter to again. Then he went further, finally, to lay a curse on her, to place a curse on her. He said, Sheila, on this day, you are fully cursed. You shall never have peace in your entire lifetime. Any man who nears you is fully cursed. You fully deceived me into a legally oath of marriage just to get popularity. He was blowing hot. Begin to drop your thoughts down in the comment section of what you think. Do you think that this message is just the message from a heartbroken man who had been dumped by his new bride after spending so much money on a wedding? Or are you sensing some nasty? Are you sensing some narcissistic traits and abusive tendencies from this write-up? A man who it is impossible to live with. Begin to tell us your impressions down in the comment section. So yes, Israel was accusing Sheila of being a gold digger on an agenda to benefit from his fame and grow her brand, and that her best friend is a certified prostitute, and her mother is a harlot, and her father extorts men for a living and sells his daughter to the highest bidder. He kept on going and going. Sheila responded. Now, remember I told you in our previous videos that these young women of these days, when I will say young women, I'm not even talking about our set. I'm talking about the younger girls coming after us. Remember that this Sheila was born in 2001. So she's a pure Gen, is it Q? Which alphabet should we give her now? This one has even passed Gen Z. She is a Gen X, Gen Y and Gen W. So she responded, these young ladies coming now do not keep quiet and allow themselves to be maligned. They speak up, they defend themselves. They saw what their mothers went through and they are not sitting for it. They have that rebellious tendencies in them. They are not about patience and endurance. They're about returning energies. So you better come correct. They will not practice the endurance and the silence that their mothers practiced, and that is a fact. So Sheila came with her own bombshell when she saw that Israel had taken to social media to spill his own beans. Let us hear her version. Okay, these messages are all over the place. Let me just pick them as best as I can. This one started, I sincerely wasn't comfortable with him not doing anything substantial. Peddling all other issues that I was gradually adjusting to. At every slight opportunity, this man goes out to insult my mom for no reason. So she's saying that in the marriage, the man was always insulting her mother. If at all I wanted to say, okay, everybody has a chance to, his or her word against his, he has proved it. He has proved this accusation right, hasn't he? By coming out on social media to insult her. So if he can insult his mother on social media, of course, it's not hard to believe that he was insulting her too in private. This man started accusing me of taking pills to not get pregnant. The first time he brought it up, we talked about it and I assured him that I wasn't, that I have no single reason to. And I expressed how unhappy I was about the accusation. That's how I nearly turned lab rats, doing series of tests to prove that I'm okay, just to satisfy him. He went further and met my mother to tell her that I'm taking pills. Met my dad and told him the same thing. I was having a shoot on the said day and he kept on texting, insulting me, saying all manners. When he finally aired out, he said he wasn't comfortable with influencing, that I should get an office job. Now this was the job that she was doing when he met her. She said that she obliged. That's okay, if you want me to stop influencing, set up a business for me and I will stop. Even though you met me doing it, doesn't mean that I cannot stop it. As long as I get another thing to focus on. He turned it into a joke and said, no, influencer, carry go, no wahala. I knew obviously that this was to avoid establishing anything, but I was like, okay, whenever you want me to stop, bring out some money, let me start business. He organized a meeting with my parents and myself and still brought up the pills matter. I was upset because we talked about it as husband and wife, but involving my parents on a thing like this, I felt it was unnecessary. My parents stepped in and said, since it's an issue of concern, let us run tests. If it is a health challenge, we know what to do. If it is a spiritual challenge, there is nothing God cannot do. That was when I opened up that I've been doing tests already. So their advice that we both do the tests, as the challenge can be from anywhere. If I go to the hospital just to drop my blood sample without him, he would come to my office, pick me up and insult me to and fro. Results were out and my results came out okay. She said that there was a day she collapsed helplessly on the floor due to the shock of something that he told her, and the man couldn't lift a finger to even raise her up. He walked out and went to buy fuel. It was her mother that came and carried her from the floor. There was a lot. She said that from a point, she started talking to him to get a land. That it was inside marriage that she got to understand so many things and started speaking on it. I'm not a girlfriend at this point, so I'm seeking for growth on all ends, bringing up suggestions on things that he could do with his influence. We all know that both entertainment and the media at large isn't sustainable, especially when you are not the craft. It was from one excuse to another. And I'm wondering, you don't spend money on me. He has complained severally that I don't ask for anything. I'm like, so what are you using your money for? When he no day, I understand. But when he day, what do you spend on? I can't see anything. We cannot continue like this. He stopped talking to me, wasn't talking to my parents. He would travel and not tell me. This became more like a norm. I found out about his activities through his social media status. Not to talk about how he cares not about the expenses of the house. He would only give when he wants to show off. She concluded, there was a lot she said, but she concluded, my decision was an accumulated one. Abusing me is one thing, but extending it to my parents is a whole different thing entirely. For my own sanity, I left the house. In my head, as of then, it's like, let's reset this, as we've been doing. But the extent this man went, I cannot forgive myself to live in such environment. I cannot be with someone who speaks love but shows wickedness in every way possible. She went further to narrate how Israel doesn't give accountability for anything, for money, how he doesn't want to be corrected or spoken to, how he went and took back the generator and the phone that he got for her parents when they started having misunderstanding, how at any little opportunity, if she goes out, he will lock her out overnight, how she said a lot, how she never had a problem with him serving his oga, but all she wanted to do was to suggest structures for him that will sustain him in the long run to old age, long after he has stopped working with that oga. And she felt that that was not a bad thing to do as a wife.
This one says, why did you criticize his relationship with the Nigerian music star?
Okay, that's direct. Fact is, I did not read my lips. I did not. I made suggestions, as a wife, but there was never at any point I said, no, don't do this. Why are you doing this? Don't do that. Why should you? In fact, I did it behind the scenes most of the times. I take pictures and I make videos. I'm like, okay, I saw you doing this and it's fine. I just had, other personal stuffs between us that I raised with him. But I never at any point said, stop working for him. Why are you working for him? I never did that.
If you think that the whole drama could have come to an end at this point, then you certainly do not know Israel, because he took to social media to lambast her even further, saying that she's dirty, dirtiness 100%, cooking 0%, this, there's only makeup she knows. He insulted her mother, insulted her generation. In fact, it was so messy on social media.
We will say the day of your bride price, right? The day I paid your bride price, I spent over 2 million naira for waiting that I bring off in cash and everything. You just wasted Morgan time, you wasted my time, wasted Morgan's time, wasted everybody's time when you knew you were not ready. Oh, they do influencing, but you still don't get popularity. And when I met this girl, she was on struggling 3K followers. Oh, wrong. As you go to do slave queen. The guy she's even staying with. The guy she's sporting with. How can the parents, how can your parents ask you to leave forcefully reject you for moving from your house, send it to Abuja to go and be sporting with somebody who's not even married? A 29, Sarah, Ginika, 28, 29-year-old girl, we don't finish to Abuja. Those guys will be say they don't even source by again. They don't find out, they don't see. They didn't pay me.
And when this whole dirty linen came out aired online, people had different reactions and opinions. They took different sides. Some people took Israel's side, describing Sheila as an opportunist and a social climber, saying that she used him solely to gain fame. Some people even went so far to accuse her that her target was Davido, and she wasn't happy that she couldn't penetrate Davido, that it wasn't Israel she was targeted. She wanted Davido himself, but since she couldn't penetrate Davido, she had to leave. It was mission impossible. This set of people came from the angle of, didn't she know what the man did for a living? She is social media savvy. She must have seen his displays. They were like, didn't she know that the man makes a living of prostrating for Davido and Chioma and hailing them? That has always been who he is. So why did she come into the marriage and the very next month she's trying to restructure his whole life? She's trying to make him who he's not. She's already feeling embarrassed and belittled and, trying to take him away from his source of living. They came very, very hard on her. Some people were even saying that she must have faked that virginity, that she's not a virgin, she's a bad girl, prostitute, So this set of people were not on Sheila's side. They were like, Israel had every right to be upset because he just expended a lot of money conducting a wedding that couldn't even, and that marriage couldn't even last up to a year. On the other hand, the other set of people were totally in support of Sheila. They were like looking or reading or listening to their various accounts of what happened. Is it not pretty obvious who the problem was? They were like, Sheila should go to the altar, to the Blessed Sacrament, and give testimony, give offering that she didn't have a child for that man. That was her only saving grace. They called it a waste, an absolute waste of virginity. Just imagine you keeping your virginity for marriage and you end up giving it up to a man like Israel. Oh my God. They were like, all the lady wanted was to elevate and repackage her man. Which married woman and married man do not give side bedroom and to a side advice? It is very normal in marriage. This is marriage, for goodness sake. This is the future. The person is going to be the father of her kids, the person she assumed she would die with. According to them, she was not trying to stop him from working for Davido, but she was thinking futuristic. Having a secure future and having stability as a man is way beyond, oh, I enter private jet with my oga. Oh, I lodge in $1,000 hotel with my oga. No, that is fickle. That is surface. That may be exciting momentarily, but a couple, a family man needs to have a plan, needs to set something up for himself. So what if tomorrow that job is not there? A job where your fate rests in the hands and the smack of a finger of a single individual is not a secure job. After all, there was this guy, is it called Bobo? So Davido's lawyer, whom they were so close, doing this whole closeness, going everywhere with. Davido woke up one day and sacked him and got another lawyer. In fact, the Israel himself has been suspended severally for one reason or the other by Davido. Today's a suspension, tomorrow might be a complete termination. So why would the wife come in and find her husband with that kind of job and will not speak some sense into his head to have some backup plan, to have some investment, to have some certainty? Is it prostrating and kneeling down and genuflecting that you'll be doing in your 60s when you are a grandfather? Is that your pension or retirement plan? To this set of people, they didn't see anything wrong with what Sheila did. They argued that no woman enjoys her odogu being the boy of the group for the rest of his life, and that's a fact. Where your odogu, your king, is the one that they sent when the men gathered. He's the one that they sent to go and buy cigar for everybody. One Nadia Gute cigar. Your odogu will be the one to run and go and give cigar. I'm looking for lighter. Where they go to hang out and there's no opener, your odogu's teeth will turn to opener and use his teeth going around opening beer for all the men, while the men are posing there with their queens, and you are there watching your odogu's teeth turn to counter opener. No woman wants that as a long-term plan, even if it's done in the interim. The woman would want something better for her man at the end of the day. So where did the woman err? They picked Israel as the problem in the marriage. And they hailed Sheila for having the boldness and the courage to walk away from a marriage, a potentially dangerous marriage, as early as she did. Because if she had stayed, oh my God, there would have been no redemption. At this juncture, guys, tell us what you think down in the comment section. Which of these two schools of thoughts do you agree with? Are you Team Israel, saying, Sheila, you are a scheming social climber that used Israel, and when you got in, you started feeling ashamed of your husband's source of living, but you're not ashamed of the money he brings in? Or are you, hello, it is a woman's responsibility to guide her husband and give him counsel that she believes will be in the best interest of the family? What are your thoughts? Who do you think was the problematic one in this marriage? Do you think that Sheila gave it up so soon? That all these young girls, they're not patient? Marriage of 10 months, you cannot even calm down, bring your head down, submit to your husband, and see how to work things out. Any small thing, you just carry your bag and leave your marriage. No, you are so immature. That is not what marriage is about. Marriage is about endurance and tolerance. When will these young girls learn? Or are you team? When you see 99, don't wait to see 100 though. Carry your 2 slippers, dust it with your 2 left legs. Let your heels be touching the back of your head. Also, run away, because such men do not get better, they get worse. Let us get your thoughts down in the comment section. Now, we thought that this whole wahala with Sheila and Israel had finally come to an end. But surprisingly, only a few days ago, Israel resumed his dragging, his interview, his podcast, his speech, and his outbursts about Sheila. And people are like, this man, why don't you move on? Leave this young girl alone. So it happened that Sheila went out to hang out club with her friends, her girlfriends, and they were dancing and having fun. And a retarded person that works in the club filmed her and her friends and sent it to Israel's DM on Instagram saying, see her aide outside.
I think divorce is it's supposed to be something that is very painful. As when you are divorced, you're not supposed to, you're not meant to be happy. In marriage, you didn't stay for 5 months. You go to church in the morning, carry only Bible, but for night, you go club, go turn white. Go white, turn white. Yeah, so the old now begin to see the reason why she left marriage.
See what she's doing. She's in the club having fun. And Israel went crazy, went gaga. Come to think of it, this same Israel has been jumping from one club to the other. And even the madam, the Oga's madam that he's always lying down for, is always in the club, and he's always hailing her as the best wife. My Oga's madam, my Oga's wife is the best. But that Oga's wife is always in the club too. So he took the social media to lament and cry bitterly that, see her! See the kind of life she always wanted. It's not because I did her anything, though. It's because she wanted to be jumping from club to club. Irresponsible woman. Irresponsible girl. So Israel took to social media to grant interviews to insult and lambast Sheila, calling her all sorts of names as he always does. Please drop your thoughts on that as well down in the comment section. In our next video, we're going to go deeper into a critical analysis of this marriage. We are going to be dropping very important and beneficial nuggets. We are going to be sharing tips, tricks, lessons learned, and what we can take home, both as a man and as a woman, from Sheila and Israel's 10-month marriage. Stay glued. It is going to be very educative as always. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye. Mwah.